Hello everybody, it's NukemDukem's channel. He can't be here right now because I've taken over. He's also on the road and he can't report on all of the new stuff that's coming out, so hope you don't mind. Hi, I'm Sky. Operation Blood Orchid has new info. That's what we're here about. I feel like I just said that, but I'm a little nervous, so bear with. We have more information on our two new operators, Ying and Lesion. One is attack, the other one's defense. So let's get into it with primaries on both sides. For the lady, we have a T95 LSW and a 612. For the gentleman, we have a 612 SD and a T5 SMG. Secondary weapons, they're both rockin' pistols with the Q929s. Gadgets for the lady would be Claymore and a grenade. The gadget for the man is an impact grenade and a deployable shield. Both characters have medium speed and medium armor. Ying. Born in the comfortable central district of Hong Kong, Xu Meilin, codename Ying, or Firefly, was a close protection operative before joining the Special Duties Unit. Having developed explosive short-range power and combat skills, she joined an elite security service school right after high school. Oh, look at her. High achiever. When she was tasked with a high-stakes money exchange during a kidnapping situation. However, she realized how limited her means were. Driven to have a greater impact, she reoriented her career to become an all-purpose operative. A year later, she joined a female-exclusive training in Tel Aviv, Israel, where she perfected her hand-to-hand combat skills and driving maneuvers. Ooh, girl. Unique ability. Inspired by a new breed of stun grenades showcased by the SAS. Oh, sass. I'm filled with sass. This mercury and magnesium-based explosive creates a multitude of blinding flashes. The Candela device releases a cluster of flash charges that can either be anchored on surfaces or thrown out as grenades. This non-lethal explosive was specifically adapted to lead operations in Hong Kong's densely populated areas, hereby limiting the risk of casualties. Coming with tinted eyepieces and earplugs, this device is geared to give your team a few precious seconds to break in and neutralize enemies. Oh, cool. Extra seconds are always good, am I right? Okay, Lesion. Born in Junk Bay, Liu Zilong, codename Lesion, was raised by his father, who worked for a ship-breaking company. During these years, Lesion would stay in the shipyard and help him dismantle obsolete ships for scrapping. Crumbling with debts after his father was injured, Lesion took on various hazard jobs in demolition until he found an opportunity for mine clearance duty. Demonstrating a natural calm while handling highly corrosive substances, he joined the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Bureau. He is a known expert in chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, CBRN, terrorist threats. Oh, I learned about a lot of CBRN stuff in the military. Anyways, no tangents. Unique ability. Goo mines were inspired by the sharp, punji sticks used during the Vietnam War, rubbed with toxic plants or feces. Oh, big boy. The sticks were served to slow down enemy troops by causing severe infections in their camp. Similarly, goo mines inject a toxin that injure your opponent and limit their speed. With its cloaking ability, your enemies will be forced to make quick decisions. Starting with 2 goo mines, your inventory will increase until it reaches the maximum of 9 mines. Since time is on Legion's side, you will be able to lure your mark into desperate rushes. Alright. Now we are moving on to the theme park. Rainbow Six has been called to raid an abandoned theme park on the shores of Hong Kong. 2 of SDU's most resourceful operators were chosen to lead the lethal raid in this challenging perimeter. Get ready to discover a colorful and eclectic new map filled with dynamic and fast-paced face-offs. Awesome. Do I need to click learn more? Oh, there's a video. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, so we'll just do a snippet. Okay. Boom. I'm not sure how much of that I'm allowed to show. Not sure how this whole situation works. Okay, now we have new Orchid weapon skins. So we've got a cute little tiger. He's adorkable. We've got a jade dragon. We've got the Sakura Blossom and the old-timey blue pottery. dragon thingy-majigger. So, yeah. Okay, get year 2, season 3 underway with 4 fresh blood Orchid weapon skins and feature one representing Poland, the Alembic Dynasty, Red Silk, White Dragon, and Plinky's Arcade can be applied to the weapons available until the end of the current season. Oh, okay, so they actually have proper names, but like my descriptions were fine, right? You guys like that? I liked it. Okay, now let's move on to Ela. We love Ela. Ella's great. She's a boss and she's hot. Like I have a lady crush on Ela. So let's look at her. Hello, girl. Look at that. Oh yeah, girl. Okay. Ella's the newest addition to Team Rainbow. Nicknamed Ela, has driven 30-year-old. Nicknamed Ela, this driven 30-year-old has an unconventional progression. Having quickly risen among Poland's special forces, she was deployed in 6 countries and active in Iraq for 7 years. Her exploits should come as no surprise, considering that she is the youngest daughter of Jan Bozak, a former commander of Poland's counterterrorism unit GROM. Despite this legacy, Ela is not the stiff soldier one would expect. Yeah? Okay, so it'll be a next one. Unseen and silent. Originally from Roarclaw, Ela's family history has deep roots within the city. Her grandfather was in... I do not know how to say that. Kichosemini? You guys will forgive my lack of knowledge and pronunciation here. An elite paratrooper in the exiled Polish army during World War II. After being captured during the Warsaw Uprising, he managed to escape and reach Roarclaw, only to endure a 3-month-long siege. Ela shared that her grandfather had a significant role in her life. I gotta scroll this down. I still carry a piece of his uniform everywhere I go. Through his tales of war, he nurtured Ela's defiant spirit and taught her that higher damage is done by striking a supply chain than by neutralizing a man. While these lessons made her a prolific counter-IED operator, Ela initially struggled to commit to the strict military lifestyle. Girl, I don't blame you. I had trouble with it too. Defiant. Ela experienced some difficulties while attending military school. She was bullied constantly due to special attention she received as the GROM commander's daughter. Her records mentioned an incident 6 months before graduation, causing her expulsion. She had a short-lived transition into another academy before the lack of attendance caused her to be transformed into a small local high school. After graduation, she left Poland behind and set out for Berlin to experience life on her own terms, where she studied fine arts, but her interest started to fade as the appeal of her old life slowly caught up with her. Fancy, fancy, Ela For Hire. Ellen was given getting all southern up in here. Ella was given a tempting offer when she made an acquaintance of the owner of a small private military company. Craving the adventure and financial independence, Ella accepted, hoping that her role as contractor would differ from the simplistic compliance she experienced in the military academy. Unconventional. During her first years of deployment in Iraq, she gained a reputation on the field. Known to possess an impressive range of abilities, her attitude was the only obstacle standing in her way. While she was seen as a prized addition to any squad, her employers monitored her closely to investigate reports of authority issues. After a rough operation in Baghdad, she received news that her father had taken his own life. Oh, so sad. So sad, big girl. Determined. Months after her father's death, Ella terminated her contract and trained relentlessly to pass the GROM's selection as a civilian. Joining her father's unit was her way to keep his memory close and make amends. Impressed by her determination and prowess on the field, the Polish forces took her in. Among the GROM, she developed an expertise in countering threats CTN, countering threats networks, and helped design advanced exploitation methods to extract intel on her target's intentions and supply routes. Where there you go, human intelligence at its finest. One of her most well-known ventures in Operation Operation Orange Sky, joined by Valkyrie, SEAL's intel expert. Ela spent months of training the Warlord's inner circle before dismantling his network and without harming a single civilian. Her collaboration with SEAL proved so fruitful that she was tracked down by Team Rainbow, a first for this international group of elite specialists. It's only a matter of time before we see what mark Ela leaves on the Bozak legacy. Oh, good for her. And the loadout, finally. Okay. Inspired by 1939 anti-Polish grenades used by the iconic, whatever that word is, during World War II, the sticky Gurmont mines can be anchored to surfaces, impairing hearing and causing a dizzying effect. These concussion mines are triggered upon proximity, affecting everyone within its radius. This non-lethal explosive was specifically adapted to Ela, who was known to isolate targets from the local population to sabotage IED operations. True to her iconic defiant nature, why was that so hard to say? Ela has a signature move when severely injured, the ability to trigger one last concussion mine. Primary weapons: the Scorpion Evo 3A1 and a F012. Secondary is RR15. Her gadgets are Barbed Wire and Impact Grenade. She is a fast speed operator with very light armor. Okay, now we got that part taken care of. The health program. Whew. This is a very long one. He wasn't wrong. 3 months ago, Operation Health was deployed as a major initiative to improve the game for upcoming years. With the launch of Season 3, we are putting Operation Health behind us with our final update in Season 3, which is our largest patch we have ever deployed. In the future, we are still keeping the core pillars to focus on game optimization, top community issues reported by the community, and improving player experience. The groundwork for Operation Health will help us to continue to improve the game for the distant future. New upgraded servers deployment. The new servers will be deployed with the launch of Season 3. These new servers will bring significant improvements to stability, connection, FPS, rubber banding, and overall performance. On top of the new servers, we have a new physics system in the works, which should further address issues with players teleporting and rubber banding. Oh man, I hate teleporting and rubber banding. It makes me so mad. So that's really good to see that they're going to fix that. Improved lighting when looking from side to side to outside and vice versa. Initially, we wanted to use realistic values to have contrasted the realistic lighting, which works in the same way as any camera would in real life. Additionally, the bloom was intended to limit the effect of defenders peeking outside. We are excited to tell you that we have completely reworked how exposure is handled on all maps and reduced the exposure values. Bloom issues are now a thing of the past. Ooh, before and after. Yeah, that's huge. Oh yeah, now we get more detail. That's awesome for you guys. Okay, sky model updates on all maps. We are now using image-based HDR skies. This allows us to have more artistic control of ambient lighting, as well as increased overall quality of the lighting in general. So before and afters. Yep, that looks good. HDR kind of tends to do that. BDRF updates on all maps. Updates are being worked on for our shading model, also known as bidirectional reflectance distribution function. So big of a word. Which calculates reflections. It now matches the same model as our external texturing tool, which improves the workflow for our artists. What this means for you is that you'll see an improved reflection quality in some materials, particularly in the terms of glossiness. Data cleanup on map textures and meshes in Cafe. Over the course of the next year, we will be reworking textures for every single map. We're starting with Cafe, that's a really big word, our most expensive map in terms of memory budget. We have been going through all the textures and meshes of Cafe, smoothing, optimizing, and standardizing everything we could. In essence, we are streamlining and reducing its overall memory footprint. Before and after, yes, it looks better. I like the textures in the wood. And they actually put in a window. It's very Christmassy. Nice. But I would put more books in the bookshelves or like china. Just little things that matter. Optimizing operators. In Operation Health, we have done a complete pass over all the operators to make sure that the total sum of their textures meet a consistent memory usage. This means that the textures are not adequately optimized, are now remapped in UV mapping with a greater efficiency so that they take up less amount of memory without reducing quality. Because we are meeting consistent memory budget across all the operators, it also meant that we could have slightly more improved quality for some operators. Lower budget operators like Sledge will have a slight improvement of quality. So let's look at this. He kind of reminds me of, what is it? The skin face guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is that just me? No? Okay. Face rigging cleanup means more consistent facial reactions. By doing a pass on the facial rigging of the operators, it means that they now have a more consistent reaction with the shape of their faces. This will result in more accurately aligned points of movement to their face. Okay, so they've slimmed her out, more feminine qualities, even though I know ladies that don't necessarily have the most feminine faces. They restructured her eyebrows. Her eyelash game is on point, even though I'm probably the only one who cares about that. Oh, they got a freckle on her nose. I really like that. Hello, cute little freckle. Habana's gadget will now be more consistent. After months of hard work, we've streamlined the handling of Habana's net objects. We're starting by reducing the overall number of net objects we need to monitor. By doing this, the potential conflicts between host authority and local authority times have been reduced, and thus players will not run into the complications that result from a desync between the two. Additionally, we've meticulously gone over the scenarios in which we saw other outlying issues occur, such as pellet placement, visual errors, and corrected those as well. So it's really nice to know that they're keeping up on the bugs like all these new things are going to bring in. That's awesome. And the Y2S 3.0 patch, we will be making some changes to how our data is organized, as well as how we generate patches moving forward. There is more information below on exactly what we are doing and why, but we are currently looking at the following patch size breakdown per platform. So here we go. Here are the specs. PC with Ultra HD, 42 gigs. PC without Ultra HD, 26 gigs. Xbox One, 15 gigs, and same with PlayStation. The impact of this will result in a smaller overall footprint for your hard drive, taking up less space. By consolidating our patches, the data players will see a reduction of seek time, which means faster loadout times for all players. While it's difficult to determine an exact loading time reduction percentage for PC due to the variety of configurations, consoles will see about a 10% faster loadout time for matches. Hit registration and high ping. Oh, I know this is an issue for so many people. Over Season 3, we will be testing fixes and improvements that will aim to address hit registration issues and poor network connections. We are currently testing something we're calling latency alignment, which will make 1v1 encounters feel more consistent. The result should be that the server will be accurately mirror the reaction time of players with unstable connections, giving a fair reaction time to their opponents. We are also working on adjustments to our shot validation to further favor players with more stable connections. This will be a lot more punishing on shots that happen far away. There are other improvements for hit registration, headshot registration, and ping that will be trickling into deployment. So general tweaks and improvements. Game health, player comfort, playlist changes, and game balancing. Game health. Introducing new smoke grenades and bolt animation dual perspective replication. Smoke grenades and Capitau's smoke darts have been fully revamped. They're now completely opaque and will be displayed at the exact same time on every client, which will make them much more reliable and consistent. We've welcomed pro players to test them in our Montreal studio. We found that these new smokes tend to be too strong, and we've decided to follow their recommendation by lowering their amount to 2 per operator that can choose them. This change will also temporarily make Capitau's smokes gray instead of blue. new game design update for Defender. Defenders. As a standard from now on, there will not be a 2 or 3 speed defender with the option of using an ACOG sight. While we like the fact that defenders can challenge attackers on long distances on their approach, we believe this strategy should come with higher risk. The possibility for 3-speed operators like Jaeger and Bandit to challenge on the long distances while being able to relocate very quickly is currently too strong. As a consequence, Jaeger and Bandit lose their ACOGs, however the heck you say it, you guys, you know what I mean. And the only new defenders that will get ACOGs, I'm just going to be saying both, aren't I? I can't wait till this paragraph is over, will be heavily armored ones. However, this does not mean that heavy armor operators will have ACOGs, and will be decided upon by the game design team. Whew, finally done with that part. Next, weapon fall-off damage redesign. Our old damage model had several inconsistencies, which has made it hard for players to understand where each weapon loses damage efficiency. With the new model in Year 2, Season 3, we try to keep the weapon balance intact while setting hard values for where the damage fall-off begins and where it ends per weapon category. For example, let us compare a new old model for Capto's Para 3LA and Buck's CASFW. Okay, so the C8 from 0 to 18 meters, it deals a base damage of 41, and then it'll fall linearly from 18 meters to 30 meters, so its lowest damage value is 24. The Para 308 is 0 to 28 meters. It deals 45 and falls off linearly from 28 meters to 40 meters and is the lowest damage value at 29. As you can see, there's a 10-meter difference from where it starts falling off between the two rifles. That issue is across most of the guns. There's not a standardized value to encompass the fall-offs, which makes it hard to understand which distant guns become less efficient. With Season 3, we've standardized all the fall-off values across the board, except for the shotguns and the Soul Sniper Rifle for glass. We believe this will help everybody have a better understanding of what their weapon efficiency is. Designated marksman rifles fall off 25 meters, ends at 40. Light machine guns fall off, starts at 25 meters, ends at 40. Assault rifles 25 to 35. Submachine guns 18 to 28. Machine pistols 18 to 28. And regular pistols 12 meters to 22. The reason why we did not want to give shotguns the same treatment is that they need to have a high level of granularity to balance them properly and have enough variation between each other to keep them interesting. Fair enough, I totally agree with that. We hope this will improve the player's understanding of weapon efficiency. Of course, we will closely look at the statistics to make sure that our game balance remains the same. Ammo balancing. We have made a pass on the amount of ammo on every gun and added a few magazines to several of them. Here is the complete change list. Oh golly. Do I have to read all of this? You guys, I'm just going to pause here so you can look at them all. Look at all that. So we got +1, +4. So much pluses. Okay, so if you want to look at this, just pause it. Yes, okay. 2 drones deployed after a time for attackers. Attackers can now deploy a second drone without destroying the first one. This works just like Twitch, who can already deploy her 2 shock drones. The mechanics are also the same, where launching a new drone will place the attacker in the new drone's camera, and they can reassess their first drone view by scrolling the observation tool list. We hope that this change will reinforce the importance of the preparation phase by making it possible to position the drone inside the building, and then deploy a new drone during the action phase to scout ahead without losing the first drone. We will monitor closely the impact this will have on global win rates for attackers and defenders, as we expect that this will give an additional edge to attackers since they have now up to 10 active cameras at a time. Canal Spawn Kill Exploit. Using the Shield Vault exploit, defenders can place themselves on the windowsill of the north windows in the control room, aiming the floating dock spawn locations. the north windows of the server room aiming the construction site. We have fixed this so the defenders can no longer use the spawn kill exploit. First-person camera position will now be closer aligned to third person. We identified and fixed several issues, several cases where players' first-person camera position did not match the third-person eyes position. This sometimes led to getting killed by opponents that you couldn't see. Shooting feedback systems are now more accurate. The shooting feedback system, like bullet tracers, hit reactions like decals on the environment, and threat indicators in the UI were based on trajectory that started from the weapon muzzle. This led to inconsistencies, and the real bullet trajectory in Rainbow starts from the first-person camera. Shooting feedback systems are now fully consistent and based on real-life bullet trajectories. We need to make a shout-out to ExecCS, who is in the is a community member who alerted us with that YouTube video. Non-replicated debris. There are often times where there is a piece of debris that can be viewed by one player and not another. This will no longer block sightlines when shooting. Debris will no longer block the deployment of gadgets. Debris from the wooden windows frame can hinder and block the deployment of gadgets. Sometimes the debris will get stuck in the armor panel of the castle, and it's impossible to be destroyed, blocking completely the deployment of any gadgets. This fix should allow for more consistent debris physics. Yay, physics! Player comfort. Whew, okay. Defender vision filter is removed when going outside. We have removed the red filter that make the defender's vision uncomfortable when they run outside the building. We think the red warning in the middle of the screen should be clear enough feedback that you are doing something dangerous. Priority on observation tools for alive players. If an alive player browses the observation tool list, he will now have priority over dead players for camera controls in attack and defense. Well, this should not make much of a difference in organized matches. We think it should help in public matches in case the dead player is AFK while controlling a camera and prevents alive players from getting information. Crosshairs don't turn red on enemies anymore. It could sometimes happen that you spotted an enemy because your crosshair turned red, not because you actually saw them. Finding our enemies is core to Siege gameplay, so we've decided to remove this mechanic. Note that your crosshair will turn green when aiming at a teammate. Enemy ID only triggers on successful scans. Similarly to the crosshair turning red, it happens sometimes that you spotted an enemy because you triggered the enemy ID event, which reveals an operator's identity in the HUD header and gives you the score points. This was problematic for some reasons. It could tell you that an enemy was in your field of vision even if you hadn't actually seen them. The enemy ID event will now only trigger from scanning successfully with drones, cameras, Valkyrie, Black Eyes, or Jackal footstep scanning. Playlist changes. Ranked playlist becomes more competitive in order to allow the players to hone in on their skills in the most competitive environments available. We are reducing the total number of maps in the ranked map rotation. The following maps will be included in the ranked playlist operation for Season 3. Bank, Clubhouse, Organ, Cafe, Consulate, Chalet, Border, Coastline, and Skyscraper. Beginning in this new season, will include 9 maps that were selected for the Pro League. Moving forward, we will introduce the new Ranked and ESL Pro League playlists at the same time we perform the rank reset. And all of this will occur at the start of the new season. So get that out there. This is all starting at the beginning of the new season. It's not happening right now, but once it's launched, it's launched. The ranked playlist, much like ESL playlists, will be rotated for each season, offering a different selection of maps available, which you guys should be super excited about. Additionally, we will exclude maps added to the new season from both ranked playlists and Pro League selection. This is being done to ensure that players have time to explore them and the new maps in casual and custom games, and to make sure that we're able to eliminate any glitches or exploits prior to entering the new maps in the competitive map pool. Ooh, I feel like we've done this, but I'm going to keep going. I think we did it in a different video. The Season 3 will be reduced to casual map. It's new casual map. Down to 15 maps. We have identified steep learning curve for our new players to face in terms of map knowledge, and this is one of the ways we're planning to address it. Additionally, some of the maps that are removed will be reworked by our level design team. To be clear, not all the maps being removed will be reworked, but some of them will be, and they'll be released in the years to come. So the new maps, because we've done a video on this: Bank, Clubhouse, Oregon, Cafe, Consulate, Chalet, Border, Coastline, Skyscraper, Canal, Hereford University, House, Plain, Theme Park. Map preferences. After revisiting the mechanics of the map preference system, we have elected to deactivate the system for all PvP multiplayer. We will keep it in the terrorist hunt so that you and your squad can select specific maps. We don't have an ETA for the return of this feature. We're exploring some alternatives. Game balancing: Barbed Wire, easier to walk through, and one less hit. The game design team considers Barbed Wire to be a problem in the current metagame. Barbed Wire is a high standard gadget, but it's gotten to a point where any solid defense needs to pick up at least 4 of them, or 6 or 8. This seems problematic for 2 reasons. For most defense operators that can pick up Barbed Wire, they are a must pick. Must picks is something that we try to limit, as they do not provide any real choices for players. Secondly, barbed wires are so efficient that they need to be hard countered, like broken from a distance, by attackers. This also contributes to reducing choices on the attacker's side, as it gives too much importance to frag grenades and operators like Ash. Barbed wire still prevents sprinting, but they now slow walkdown speed by 45%, and that's down from 50%. As they are destroyed with 2 melee hits, down from 3. Jackal's Hunter's Mark pings location more frequently. Jackal's Hunter's Mark now marks the target's position every 5 seconds, down from 10 for 20 seconds, down from 30 for 5 position pings, up from 4. That is so much information, you guys. I don't know what's going on. Bandit can now destroy Habana pellets while they fuse. Habana is probably too good of a choice right now for several reasons. We have deeper modifications planned for reinforcing wall breaches operators in the long term, and we are not ready to share those details. For now, we hope that making the bandit trick much easier against Habana will make the strength of her gadget a bit more situational than it currently is. Bandit's batteries, one-shot drones. Objects electrified by Bandit's batteries used to one-shot drones when they made contact. This has changed a few patches. This was changed a few patches ago, between 2 and 3 hits, and we're reverting that change. Drones will be 1 hit when interacting with electrified objects. IQ doesn't detect friendly gadgets anymore, and detects Echo's arm pad while using the yokai. IQ sensors detecting friendly gadgets caused by all... IQ sensors detected... Oh man, you guys, I'm getting tired. Let me drink. Okay, much better, kind of. IQ sensors detecting friendly gadgets caused all kinds of confusion, so we are removing friendly objects from her hub. Additionally, when Echo is using his yokai drone, IQ will now be able to detect this, similar to Pulse. Fuse's cluster charge pathing is more predictable. The path taken by Fuse cluster charge pallets was calculated by pre-computing the whole trajectory, but then switching to the physics-driven model. As soon as a puck hits an object and disregarding the remainder of the pre-computed trajectory, this, as we all know, translated to unpredictable and desynchronization behavior across clients. The new version ensures that pucks follow the pre-computed trajectory until the end, which should yield a much more reliable and teammate-friendly behavior. No more crosshair hit markers on Blackbeard's shield. Shooting at Blackbeard's shield doesn't trigger hit markers anymore. On some occasions, this mechanic allowed defenders to spot his position without seeing him, which was not the intended behavior. All drones and Twitch's drones can aim upwardly more easily. A drone can now pitch the camera on a higher vertical angle, which mostly impacts Twitch. It's now easier for her to shoot up at high cameras with her shock drones. Glaze's blood splatters are now more correctly displayed. Blood splatters are now correctly displayed when using a thermal scope. They used to not display in red when they display above the yellow bodies. Additionally, dead enemies do not display as highlighted anymore. Okay, I like that. Keep the dead dead. Sledge's hammer is now more consistent. You should now be easier. It should now be easier to connect where you want with the sledgehammer, especially on windows and repelling. Main bug fixes. Oh, there we go. Wow, so many bug fixes. Oh, golly, am I supposed to read all of these? Oh, golly. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is so much. What if I just tell you what seems important? Or oh my goodness, that's so many bug fixes. Gameplay, ping. We already talked about that though. I think we've covered most of these things. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to report on all 120. Ash firing a breach charge at a wall at 45-degree angle will create a larger hole than firing in the wall straight ahead. Ash receives points for shooting a breach round next to a destroyed barricade. Okay. Oh, man. I mean, I should probably call and ask if I should read all 3,000 of these bug updates. Don't you love how it goes from like 120 to 3,000? So there's a yacht bug fix. Skyscraper, probably scrolling too fast and making you guys sick. Border, chalet, and I'm losing my voice. Plane, clubhouse, university, house. Are you guys upset about losing the house or something? Canal, the consulate. Wow, lots in the consulate. Coastline, so many in the coastline. Holy crapola. Hereford, Oregon, the bank, cafe. Wow, user experience. Hey, we've got better things fixed for the user experience. Oh golly, I'm just gonna scroll through all of the bug fixes. There are hundreds of bug fixes. Okay, so I'm gonna end this here. If the bug fixes need to be covered, NukemDukem will take care of it. So thank you so much for putting up with me and having me as a guest. It's been awesome. I will see you guys later. Well, or I won't because this is not my channel. Okay, so thanks for having me. Bye. Bye, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button when you know somebody's live, and just do your thing. Have a great day.